team wrestling match featuring 4 of the best wrestlers in the USA. The team on the right consists of Nick Lutz, the wealthy garage man of exclusive Beverly Hills, California, and Tiny Roebuck, a giant Indian from the West. In the other corner, the other team. On the right, Vincent Lopez, no relation to the orchestra conductor, and El Popo, a good neighbor from south of the Rio Grande. These pictures were made not far from Hollywood, hence the good-looking announcer takes advantage of the opportunity to audition and pads his part a bit. You see, you never know who may be in the audience. Out from their corners come the teams to confer momentarily with the referee, a stern gentleman. He's laying down the law to these wrestlers now and tells them exactly what he will stand for and what he won't stand for in the way of bites, punches, gouges, and kicks. The wrestlers pay him deferential attention, but at the same time make a mental reservation that they will pay no attention whatever to the rules once the bout gets underway. Back into the corner go their teams now, and taking off their robes, they're all ready for action as the referee signals down that the bout is about ready to begin. One final fling at the rosin over in that corner, and the team of Vincent Lopez and El Popo comes out to meet the team of Nick Lutz and Tiny Roebuck out there in the center of the ring, and they spar gingerly for the moment. But then El Popo comes charging in and mixes it up with Nick Lutz, Tiny Roebuck mixing it up in his corner with Vincent Lopez. But not for long, as it becomes a real maelstrom out there. One boy charging the other one just as fast as he possibly can, and down to the canvas goes one member of one of these teams, and Nick Lutz is swarming all over Vincent Lopez there, and with a smash to the midsection gets rid of that threat. But Lutz in turn takes a left and a right to the jaw from El Popo, who is immediately tangled up with Tiny Roebuck in the center of the ring with Vincent Lopez trying to help him out of it, and Lopez circling around, trying to floor the giant Indian from the West if he possibly can, and he finally did. That's Tiny Roebuck down there on the canvas with Vincent Lopez swarming all over him, and the boys are getting together down there in a huddle. There is some sort of skullduggery there. El Popo signaling over there to his partner, Vincent Lopez, to drag Tiny Roebuck over so that maybe he can tangle him up with Nick Lutz, and tangle him up they do. And watch these boys tying ribbons with each other's arms and legs out there in the center of the ring. It's a wonder that anybody knows whose arm he's twisting or whose toe he's bending back so painfully. But Nick Lutz got out of harm's way just in time, but takes a rush to the ropes from El Popo. And El Popo comes charging back to help his partner, Vincent Lopez, who looks in a bad way there for the moment. He comes bouncing off the ropes to go to work on Nick Lutz, and finally does kick him in the midsection, but lands flat on his back in the canvas in the meantime. Lutz is going to work himself now on Vincent Lopez, who backs over into the corner, but comes back again with Nick Lutz trying to keep him out of the way, and he does. He lands Lopez flat on his back over in that corner. The referee gets over to see if it's a legal fall, but it isn't, because Vincent Lopez's shoulders were out under the bottom rope. But Lutz is going to work on Lopez again, and up jumps Tiny Roebuck to smash him in the midsection. El Popo with a right to Lutz's jaw and a kick to the midsection makes the Beverly Hills garage man worry for a moment, but he's a little bit angered by this attack and throws his opponent with a chancery over shoulder. And now there is real skullduggery going on out there, ladies and gentlemen, as Nick Lutz signals to Tiny Roebuck, his partner in crime out here on the padded canvas, to get in there and make up some kind of a deal whereby these two opponents of theirs can be made to fight each other. It's a great trick if it can be done, and it has been done in these team matches in the past. Nick Lutz is applying the pressure there at the same time, hoping that Tiny Roebuck can really come out of it enough to help. And there's El Popo trying to get out of it with the wrestler's bridge, and he can't quite do it. Vincent Lopez is out under that bottom rope, and the referee says the whole deal is illegal on that account, and so breaks it all up, and Nick Lutz gets to his feet, Tiny Roebuck to his feet, and look at this. Here is a little disunion, these two partners fighting among themselves, El Popo and Vincent Lopez. El Popo complaining that Vincent Lopez bit his leg. That's no way for partners to act. Gentlemen, you must get together, otherwise you'll have no chance whatever of winning this great wrestling match here, this great team wrestling match. Well, injured feelings apparently are all repaired, and back out into the center of the ring they go, and there's more real skullduggery and a little double crossing, which resulted in Lopez and El Popo hurting themselves as a result of that real brain match there by Nick Lutz and Tiny Roebuck, who really got together. El Popo and Lopez have really got to straighten out these injured feelings, otherwise they'll never get to first base. Apparently they've done it, and there it comes again. It's another double cross, and El Popo was hit by Vincent Lopez, and El Popo doesn't like it at all. But apparently all the injured feelings are straightened out, at least for the moment. You never know what's going to happen in the future, and so they start to tangle again. Up there in the center of the ring, let's see what's going to happen. There is Lutz trying to drape El Popo over the ring, and they bump their own partner's head, and those injured feelings are really in a very bad way. El Popo is definitely mad, and Vincent Lopez has apologized for the injury that he unwittingly did his own partner, and we hope that they get things straightened out, because we would like to see this bout carried out to a natural conclusion. Apparently now it's going to be, because they start mixing it up all over again, and there is El Popo in there swinging, and those terrific rights from Vincent Lopez to Tiny Roebuck's jaw aren't doing that giant Indian a bit of good at all. The referee is the busiest man in the ring at the moment as he tries to see whether Vincent Lopez has got Tiny Roebuck pinned to the canvas or not, and keep his eye on the other couple at the same time, and it's almost too much for him. Because the tables have been turned so very rapidly. Here's an interesting situation. Watch this. El Popo holding Nick Lutz while Vincent Lopez smashes him in the midsection time and time again. He says, what is this? Is he man or is he mouse? He's definitely man. I can't knock him out. And he remonstrates so much that he gives Tiny Roebuck an opportunity to get in there and swing him over and pin his face down to the canvas and land a series of rabbit punches. But the battle still goes on, and they're all tangling up, all four of them there in the middle of the ring. There goes a smashing right from El Popo, and he comes over to help his partner, Vincent Lopez, who looks in a bad way in that corner for a moment. And now it's the big Indian Tiny Roebuck who's taking a beating. Vincent Lopez comes charging out to help his and hit his own partner on the jaw, and Tiny Roebuck gets in there and takes advantage of that and spread eagles himself over his opponent, El Popo, who is counted out by the referee. There was a quick change in the tide, ladies and gentlemen, and a bit of wrestling psychology there. They double-crossed each other again, and El Popo was knocked out by his own opponent, his own partner, I should say, Vincent Lopez. And Vincent Lopez now, as a result of that, looks in a bad way. They try to stretch him out like a rubber band for a moment, but he comes out of it and goes to work on Tiny Roebuck, and Roebuck, the big Indian, crashes to the canvas again with a thud that made the rafters ring. And Nick Lutz is over there to help his partner now, Tiny Roebuck, the big Indian from the west, and get him out of harm's way if he possibly can. But Lopez is being helped by El Popo, who's outside the ring. Come, El Popo, that's no way to cement friendly relations. El Popo is holding Nick Lutz there while Vincent Lopez goes to work on him. The referee comes in and helps Nick Lutz just in time for Lutz to come over with a smashing right to Lopez's jaw. Lopez is draped over the ropes now, and down goes the Indian, Tiny Roebuck, once again with El Popo outside the ropes and counted out of this bout, really accounting for himself just as much as though he were right there in the middle of the ring. He's got the Indian pinned. The Indian is helpless, can't do a thing, and over to the ropes comes Lutz, pushed there by Vincent Lopez, and El Popo goes to work on Lutz's right foot there and twists and turns, and Lutz can't possibly move, and it must kill him because he sees his partner, Tiny Roebuck, gradually being knocked out by Vincent Lopez with that series of rights to his iron jaw. But he retaliates and comes back in with a rabbit punch just at the time that it does the most good. And there is the team of Lutz and Roebuck spread-eagling over Vincent Lopez and applying the pressure. And the pain is too much, ladies and gentlemen. Lopez has given up. The bout is over, and the victors are Nick Lutz and Tiny Roebuck, whose arms are now being held up in triumph by the referee. El Popo, as though to atone for past injustices, gets into the ring to help his fallen partner, Vincent Lopez, out of harm's way over in the corner. What's this? A dental examination? Well, Tiny Roebuck has lost a tooth in this encounter, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Tiny Roebuck won a wrestling bout and lost a tooth. So, this is Knox Manning asking you, which do you suppose he'd rather?